Hi, my name is Maya Campbell, and here's my fieldwork hours reflection. So, the first person that I observed was Ryan Trevithick, assistant women's basketball coach. In the observation category was coaching. His phone number is 810-955-1862. So, the things that I observed were a few practices, and I observed a game. So, at the practices, Ryan came up to me with a piece of paper and it had all the tasks that they were doing for that practice. So for 10 minutes they would do a certain task, and then after that they would move on. So it was very helpful when watching the practices to go through the sheet and be able to read that. I was able to ask him questions, which was nice at the end, and he was very willing to talk with me about coaching and just everything that it's all about, the administrative side and the on-court side. So that was nice being able to, see if that was something that I want to do in my future. What I liked most about this observation was that he was willing to talk to me, and he just didn't have me sit there and just observe the practice. I liked how he interacted with his players because he was very upbeat and he had a lot of energy throughout the whole practice, and when he got down on them, he wouldn't yell at them. He would just tell them what they need to do to get better and change. What I disliked about the observation was that I couldn't be on the court with them, and I know that that's probably not even possible, but I was just so into it that I wanted to be right down on the court with them. So my next observation was the SVSU athletic training room. I observed Megan, and her phone number is 1-989-670-1377. What I observed in the athletic training room mostly were the athletes coming in, and whatever they needed done, they would just ask their athletic trainer, or their athletic trainer would tell them. Megan that day had a pretty slow day when I was in there, so she only had a few athletes coming in, and I would say that's what I would dislike most about the athletic training room, was that there really isn't a lot going on at times, but then other times it's like a swarm of teams coming in because they have a game or a practice, so it seems like everyone's either all in at once or there's basically nobody in the athletic training room. And Megan is actually my athletic trainer, so that was kind of helpful. And I did ask her a couple of questions, but it doesn't seem like they're willing to answer a lot of questions because they are so busy. Even when they don't have people in there that they're taking care of, any athletes in there, they still have a lot of paperwork to do, or they're doing something on their computer. They're just very busy in there, so it kind of makes it difficult to sit in there and just watch nobody coming in. What I like most about that site is that when people are in there, there is so much going on, and it's like your day probably has to go so by fast because you're doing what you love, and there's just all these people coming in there. So when there's a lot of people, it's definitely fun to watch. The basic things that I observed in there were athletes getting taped or athletes being put on the e-stim. So that's pretty much all I saw. And then I saw a couple athletes getting massages on areas that were needed. And then the last place that I observed was McLaren Physical Therapy. I observed Tim Webb, and his phone number is 810-410-5567, and the observation category was physical therapy. Oh, and back to the athletic training, the observation category was athletic training. Anyway, so at McLaren Physical Therapy, I actually went there for physical therapy 3 times. I went there this summer for my shoulder, and then I went previously for my back my senior year. So I knew Tim is my physical therapist, so if I ever need anything, then I go to him. So it was really nice going to a site that you already know all the people in there, because they all make you feel very comfortable, which was so nice because I walked in and I knew all the physical therapists there. So when I walked in, he had me sign some forms saying that I was, able to observe there and what I could and couldn't do. And then I went out there with him, and he got his first patient, and I saw 5 different patients that day. All of them were different. They had different cases. The first guy that I saw was very talkative, and he had a lot of conversations with me, and he had torn both of his rotator cuffs. And the most recent one, he was walking in Flushing Park, and he tripped over a branch, and he fell on his rotator cuff, and it tore. So he's in there right now doing physical therapy, and it's getting stronger. The second person that I saw, he actually had two patients at once, so I was talking to both of them. One had a back injury. She had something wrong with her SI joint. So that was interesting talking with her because I actually had kind of the same problem. And then someone else came in and she had something wrong with her knee. She had some knee problems. She was not able to straighten out her knee, so he was trying to get her to have full range of motion in her knee if possible. So that was nice talking with those ladies, and it's really nice about this site because everyone in the room is talking. Like, all the physical therapists are talking with each other. They're, having fun, making jokes, and they're still watching their patients very carefully. And that's what I love about this site, is that you get so many different ages. And that's what I saw when I was observing, was that there was just all different ages. You could get a little kid, or you could get a college athlete, or you could get someone that's elderly, or, any different scenario or age. The third person I saw was someone that had 19 surgeries on her knee. She told me this big long story, but she was in there hoping that physical therapy was finally the answer for her knee after all these surgeries. And then the fifth person I saw was someone that had Parkinson's disease, and he was originally on Michigan's football team, so that was pretty cool being able to talk with him about Michigan football and how the disease is affecting him. And he thinks that it's he got the disease from getting hit in the head so many times. So it was interesting seeing what my physical therapist had to say about all that. So what I would like least about this site is that mostly the people that come in are elderly people. So even though you do get all those different ages, you still mostly get elderly people that come in. But those are the people that need physical therapists the most, in my opinion, because if you can get them back to what they need to be, they will appreciate you so much, because they're just trying to get through, everyday tasks, and some of these things they can't even do the everyday tasks like walking, or they need help. And just seeing Tim be able to help these people is just, it's amazing. It's the best feeling in the world when you make someone feel better, and you can see that progress every day. And that's what I love about this site, and that's what I love about physical therapy, is that you can make people feel better, and that's the goal, and that's his goal, is to make people feel better. And yeah, so now that I've observed these 3 different fields, I'm definitely most interested in physical therapy. It's kind of always what I wanted to do after I had all the injuries that I have. When you're hurt, you want to feel better, and you have a new compassion for people, and you understand what they're going through when they have problems. Because I know that when I was younger, I never had any of these problems, so I look at people and I'm like, oh, they just need to suck it up, or they just need to do this or that. But when you get older and you start having these problems, or you actually have to experience it yourself, it's life-changing. And now that's all I want to do when I get older, is be able to make people not feel pain anymore, or at least make it so they have less pain and they can do the, activities in their daily life. I think I have some questions still for Tim about the field of kinesiology, or, the physical therapy. I asked him questions the whole time, and I still feel like there's some unanswered questions, but definitely the three places that I observed have been eye-opening for me, and I hope that physical therapy is the career for me in the future. Thank you.